Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA. My name is Seamus Brady, and in this video I'm going to be giving a roundup and a review of the Dublin Club Championship in football 2022, and I'm going to just run through the group stage. It's given us a lot of headlines, it's given us a lot of talking points. A lot of successful teams over the last few years have crashed out at the group stages of the Dublin Club Championship this season. I'm going to walk through which teams have really impressed me, which teams I think are genuine contenders for the Dublin Club Championship in 2022. Going to run through it group by group and go through my thoughts on the championship. So starting with Group 1. So the four teams in Group 1, Kilmacud Crokes topped it, won 3 out of 3, and the results have been really, really impressive. They started off with such a comfortable victory over Raheny, winning by 113 to 5 points. Then they beat Ballantyre St. John's away from home by 12 points to 8. And then they trampled all over Templeogue Sing Street, 325 to a goal and 6. Yes, 3 goals and 25 points in the club championship match is scary strength in depth that Crokes have. They are, of course, the Dublin Club champions. And that's the first team that I'm going to start with. Everyone knows about the Shane Walsh transfer, about him coming in, linking up with Paul Mannion. But it's not just linking up with Paul Mannion. He's linking up with Darren Mullen, Hugh Kenny, Shane Cunningham, Shane Horan, who plays for Offaly. It's such a ridiculously strong forward line for Kilmacud Crokes now. Paul Mannion hit 9 points against Templeogue Sing Street. Shane Walsh came on, as I mentioned, got his first score in a Crokes jersey. He's settled in there now. And Kilmacud Crokes will go on. They're going to play against Coola in the next round. I think that's going to be an absolute cracker of a game. The team that finished second and also got out of the group stage was Ballantyre St. John's. They won one, drew one, and lost one. The game that they won was against Raheny. That was in the last round, and that was to ensure their passage to the next round. They won that game by 113 to 1-8. They also drew with Templeogue Sing Street, and then they lost to Kilmacud Crokes. Templeogue, they drew 2 and lost 1. Raheny drew 1 and lost 2. Honestly, would have expected better from Raheny, at least a better showing. I mean, you're talking the likes of Brian Fenton, Brian Howard, Gavin Ivory that they have in that panel of players to choose from. I know that they obviously didn't get their best selection out on the field every time, but they have players like Sean McMahon. They have players like Rutherson Real, former Dublin minor. They have the strength there. So it's disappointing that their season has gone like this and they finished bottom of the group. In Group 2, Coola are the surprise team to top the group. I mean, you say surprise. The reason that I'm saying this is because you've got Ballybowden, St. Tinders, Ballymun-Kickham's and Clontarf below them. Coola, of course, only promoted from the Senior 2 Championship into the Senior 1 Championship. But when you look at the players that they have, they've got Michael Fitzsimons there at the back. They've got Padder O'Coffig-Byrne in midfield, Luke Keating, Con O'Callaghan and Niall O'Callaghan in the forward line. It's a really, really strong Coola side. And then on top of that, you've got players that have played for Dublin before, like Conor Mullally. It's a really, really strong Coola setup. They won 2, drew 1 and lost none. This is exact same as Ballybowden St. Tinders, but Coola go through at top of the group. Coola go through with Ballybowden into the next round. Of course, Coola's runs, they beat Clontarf by 4-11 to 3-7. That's really their standout result up until the last game, which was a victory over Ballymun-Kickham's, which sent them into the next round. They won that by 2-8 to 11 points. Ballybowden St. Tinders also made it through. Of course, the first round they drew at Coola, 16 points to Coola's 113. Then they beat Ballymun-Kickham's 4-10 to 2-11. And some of the goals that they scored in that game were absolutely fantastic. And then in the final round, they beat Clontarf by 116 to Clontarf's 7 points. And Ballybowden go through again. Ballymun-Kickham's out at the group stage. They lost to Coola and they also lost to Ballybowden St. Tinders. They beat Clontarf by a point in the opening round. But yeah, I think Ballymun's dynasty, if you like, I really do think it's now starting to fully drop off, fully decline. You've got Philly McMahon there heading into mid-30s. You've got Dean Rock there, similar. You've got James McCarthy, similar. Like, they're not going to be able to replace these lads. These lads are once-in-a-generation type players. Like, they're 8-time All-Ireland winners, some of them. Philly McMahon has 8 All-Ireland medals. James McCarthy has 8 All-Ireland medals. You don't just replace these lads. And the fact that they're getting to the tail end of their careers, that means Ballymun won't be as strong. And if they're going out at the group stage, in 2022, unless they replace these lads in 2024, 2025. We saw it happen with St. Vincent's. If you can't replace the All-Ireland winners that walk out, it drops off very, very quickly. In Group 3, Na Fianna topped the group, 100% record, only the second team to be able to do that in the Dublin Club Championship this year, Crokes being the other one. Na Fianna won 3, drew none, lost none. The victories that they had, they beat, it was Thomas Davis in the first game by 112 to 10 points. Then they beat Jude's by 2-8 to 9 points. Great victory there over the Dublin finalists last season. And then in the last round, they absolutely hammered Skerries by 4-15 to 5 points. Skerries were on the other end, won none, drawn none, lost 3. I would have probably expected better. Skerries, Dublin under-21 champions, a lot of good players on that side, the likes of Adam Viren, the likes of Kieran Murphy, the likes of Graham Cullen, Stephen Smith, Jack Smith from Westmeath. But they never got going. They never got going really in any of their games. They were, the closest one that they had was against Thomas Davis. They lost that 2-17 to 4-9. But in the Jude's game, they were beaten out the gate. And in the Na Fianna game, they were beaten out the gate as well. So work to be done there. Thomas Davis, surprisingly, made it out of the group in second place behind Na Fianna. And St. Jude's, the team that were in the Dublin final last year, are out at the group stage. That last game, Thomas Davis went away to St. Jude's and won by 2-9 to 2-8. Now, Thomas Davis were in the Dublin Club Championship final in 2019, and they're a real hard-working, solid team. They've got the likes of Keane Murphy in that side. They've got the likes of Adam Waddick. So serious talent coming through, Fionn Murray and the like as well. So Thomas Davis, definitely a dark horse, definitely one to keep an eye on. They go through in second place. Similar thing I'd say about St. Jude's as I would have said about Ballymun-Kickham's there. You've got Kevin McManaman in his mid-30s now. You've got Niall Coakley, mid-30s. These lads are pretty much irreplaceable for St. Jude. So it'll be hard to see them rebound back stronger than they were before, let alone as strong. So let's actually then move on to Group 4. This was probably the most contested group out of the lot. You've got 3 teams with 2 wins and a loss, and then Round Towers Lusk were at the bottom of the group with no wins, no draws, and 3 defeats. Castleknock and Whitehall Columkill make it out of the group with 2 wins and a loss. Lucan Sarsfields also had 2 wins and a loss, but they lose out because of score difference. So Castleknock beat Lucan the first day by 2-16 to 1-11, and that really was Lucan's undoing. On the same day, Whitehall Columkill trampled all over Round Towers Lusk, winning by 2-20 to a goal and 8. Castleknock then lost to Whitehall Columkill by 3-16 to 3-14 in Parnell Park. Cormac Costello's late goal, the victory there for Whitehall. Then Lucan won by 121 to 1-7 against Round Towers Lusk. And then in the final round, Lucan pipped Whitehall for their second victory by 114 to 113. And on the same day, Castleknock got their second win, beating Round Towers Lusk by 111 to 6 points. So the score difference sees Castleknock and Whitehall Columkill into the next round. So those are the quarterfinal teams. The quarterfinals are Castleknock versus Thomas Davis, Na Fianna versus Whitehall Columkill, Kilmacud Crokes versus Coola, Ballyboden St. Enda's versus Ballantyre St. John's. So what do I think about the club championship so far? I think the ones to really keep an eye out on are obviously Kilmacud Crokes and Na Fianna from the group stage. I mean, you can't deny 3 wins out of 3 against some very, very strong opposition. The way Crokes have absolutely blown away Temple Oak Sing Street on that last round. This is a Temple Oak side that has Lorcan O'Dell, Niall Scully, the O'Garas, and they put them to the sword with minimal fuss. So Kilmacud Crokes, for me, as of right now, Kilmacud Crokes look damn good. They've got Shane Walsh in there, probably right up there with David Clifford as the best forward in the country. So, I mean, how can you not look at Crokes as being the favourites as we're talking right now? Na Fianna obviously look promising, 3 wins out of 3, including victories over the likes of Thomas Davis, the likes of St. Jude's, Skerries Harps. You can't ignore that. Whitehall have made massive strides this year as well. Cormac Costello and Owen O'Donnell have been shooting the lights out, and they've got Lee Gannon in there as well. All-star nomination. They've got, some serious young talent coming through there. Minor championship winners in 2018. So some serious pedigree coming through there. And this year they've made massive jumps. Castleknock as well. I mean, they've got out of the group even without the services of Kieran Kilkenny. So when he comes back, will they continue to thrive? Then in the Group 2, Coola and Ballyboden St. Dennis. Coola have Con O'Callaghan, probably again with Shane Walsh right up there as one of the best forwards in the country, along with David Clifford and Mannion. And Ballyboden St. Dennis getting out with them. They have the Baskells. They have Michael Darmacaulay back in there in the panel. There's so many teams that look so damn good. Ballantyre as well. They're really sprung on by their youth, by the lads that they have, the likes of Ian O'Hare and those lads coming through. Thomas Davis as well. A very, very strong minor side in 2018, 2019 that reached the final. The likes of Fionn Murray, the likes of Adam Waddick coming through. So it's really, really hard to call. Right now, if I had to say who my favourite is, I would say Kilmacud Crokes. I just think they've got at the back, they've got Andrew McGowan, they've got Rory O'Carroll, Killian O'Shea, all these Dublin experienced players. Craig Diaz in midfield then is an outstanding midfielder. And then on top of that, in the forwards, they've got Paul Mannion, they've got Shane Walsh. It's hard to look past Kilmacud Crokes. So yeah, Kilmacud Crokes for me. And then we'll see what happens. So, guys, that is my roundup of the Dublin Club Championship 2022 so far at the group stage. I hope you enjoyed. And until the next one, take care.